Hello everyone, this is Dave from Dave's Recent Things. Today's video goes out to all of my American viewers out there. I thank all of you for watching, for commenting. I really do appreciate you south of the border. My American viewers, this one goes out to you. What am I doing today? I'm going to be creating a swag wreath with the theme of USA Patriotic red, white, and blue. A little twist with the swag, I'm actually going to be using the center of a 21-inch deco mesh roll. It's the cardboard tubes. We're going to use that as the base today and see how that turns out. Are you all set for the red, white, and blue patriotic swag? I know I am. Why don't I just get started and I'll show you what I made. Here is the cardboard tube I was talking about. Now this is the inside of a 21-inch deco mesh roll. We're going to play around with that. And I'm also using 10.5-inch by 10-yard wide foiled strip deco mesh. I'm going to be using a variety of patterns of red, white, and blue ribbon, 2.5 and 1.5 inch. Along with some red, white, and blue glittery picks. They've got some twirls in there and stars, some pipe cleaners that I had in my stash that's going to coordinate really well, and of course my regular crafting utensils to create this project today. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to lay down my large mat. I'm going to use that with a rotary cutter to cut my deco mesh. If you don't have that, you can use a ruler and a pair of scissors. That'll work perfectly. What is our magic number today? It is the number 30. So we are cutting our deco mesh at 30 inches. So I'm just going to lay that deco mesh out, use my rotary cutter and my self-healing mat, cut that deco mesh, put it off to the side. So again, I'm using 10.5-inch by 10-yard deco mesh. This has foil edges on it. I am cutting 11 pieces at 30 inches. So I'm using 330 inches, which is approximately 9.5 yards, which is one roll. So you're going to have just a touch left over, but it's one full roll of that 10-inch by 10 yards deco mesh. I'm going to continue on my cuts, roll it up, put it off to the side until I am ready. So here is the tube. It is just over 20.5 inches long and just under 1.5 inches wide. That's the size I'm going to work with. I'm going to take my pipe cleaners and we're going to create a working frame with this. So I'm taking my first pipe cleaner, maybe about 1/4 inch from the top, attaching that and twisting it to the side. And then right underneath that, I'm going to add my second pipe cleaner and then I'm going to twist it on the other side. So we've created a stem on the left and a stem on the right. Then I'm going to take my ruler out. I'm going to grab a pencil and mark off every 4 inches. So 4, 8, 12, all the way down to the bottom of our tube. Then I'm going to come to that second 4-inch mark, twist around another pipe cleaner on the left-hand side. Right below that one we just created, I'm going to create another twist and stem on the right-hand side. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doubles, and at the very end, very close to the edge, we're going to create one single one, tying it right in the center. So again, we have 11 stems in total, 5 doubles and 1 single. Then what I'm going to do is right at the top underneath those double stems, I'm going to twist it around on the back side, and then I'm going to create a little loop by twisting the ends together, and this is how I'm going to hang the wreath. So I'm just twisting that onto itself right now, creating a loop, and that's how we're going to hang our little USA swag wreath today. Here's the working frame all done, and then what I'm going to do is flip it over. And on the back side, I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue, actually a lot of hot glue. I'm noticing I put a lot of hot glue on there, but I just want to make sure they don't go anywhere. And to finish it off, I decided just to take some felt. This was from a felt roll. I had some scraps laying around. I'm going to add a line of hot glue. Then I'm going to roll that tube onto that hot glue, pressing it in place. And then I'm going to create a little hole where our hanger is, feed that through that hole. So now we have our hanger available, cut slits at each of those stems to make sure we don't cover them. And then I'm going to roll over that deco mesh. I'm going to roll over that felt and then add some hot glue to finish off the edges. And for our little tabs, I'm going to add some hot glue on there, roll it around the tube. So now I'm creating kind of a little bit of a finishing touch now. The back side is going to be completely covered. It's where you see that cardboard is the front side. So we're going to cover that with the deco mesh. And speaking of deco mesh, here is our deco mesh. I'm going to grab a clothespin, a weight. I'm just using a decorative rock. These are our deco mesh pieces. Now our cut side is going to be at the bottom and our finished edges are at the left and the right hand side. This is the woodland ruffle or the cruffle method. So all we do is we curl up and create a tube on one end. Then we're going to take our clothespin, close that off, turn it around, and then we have another finished end here. Then we're going to roll it over into a tube shape. Roll it about 4 or 5 times. That's what I'm doing in this video. I really want that loop defined. Then we're going to anchor our thumbs down and we're going to walk our fingers right up the center. So we walk our fingers up, gathering that deco mesh. This is creating that ruffle effect. So this is the woodland ruffle or cruffle method. We're going to take that clothespin off, gather it together right in the center, and then you can see now I've created little loops or curls and our ruffles are right in the middle. Let's bring our working wreath frame out, open up our first stem, place that deco mesh bundle right in between those 2 pipe cleaners, twist it around a couple of times, make sure it's nice and secure, and then we have our first bundle done. So now we're going to move on to our second one, the same thing, cut edges at the bottom, roll up that edge, creating a little tube, place your clothespin on there, rotate it around where we're going to work on the other side, gathering it together, rolling up, and then we're gathering it with our fingers, creating our ruffle method, which is the woodland ruffle or cruffle method. Then we're going to take that bundle, go to the opposite stem, open that one up, and place the middle right in between, closing those pipe cleaners together, giving a couple of really good twists so it doesn't go anywhere. And then I'm just going to continue the same method for each stem. So we have 11 pieces here. We have 11 stems. I'm going to fill each stem with 1 bundle per stem. Now, if you want, you can do any different color you want. I chose this blue foil with the red and white foil on the sides. It works perfectly. I'm adding on our last one here right at the bottom. Check this out. I love this mesh so much. This is exactly what I pictured and exactly what I wanted. It's nice and full and colorful. For this, we're going to do a bow, and I'm going to lay out my first ribbon, measure out 12 inches, gather it, hold it in my left hand, bring it to the 0 mark, and then we're going to measure out 12 inches again, gather it. Then I'm going to bring my right hand to my left, transfer it to my left hand. Now we have a loop at the top, a tail at the bottom. I have a good side and I also have a bad side, so I'm going to twist it to make sure that good side is facing up. Then we're going to lay it down, measure out that 12 inches one more time. This time when I'm going to bring my hands together, that loop I want at the bottom. So make sure that loop is at the bottom with the tail, and then we still have a loop at the top. Twist it so the good side is facing up. Lay it down again, measure out your 12 inches, bring your hands together, and then transfer the ribbon. And then you keep doing this until you have as many loops as you want and as many tails. I'm doing 4 loops, 2 tails. So for the last one, I'm going to cut at 12 inches. Grab that full-length pipe cleaner, twist it around the middle, wrapping it around a couple of times, making sure it's nice and secure, and then I'm going to dovetail each one of my tails just to finish it off. A nice little finishing touch with that V shape there. Segment number 1 is done. We put it off to the side. Now we're going to do segment number 2 at 10 inches. So it's the exact same process we're doing. We start with a tail. We're going to create our loop, bring it together to our left hand, making sure that ribbon is good side up. So for our segment number 2, I am going to do 10 inches. So I'm doing 4 loops, 2 tails. We're cutting it. We're adding that pipe cleaner. This is a full-length pipe cleaner again, twisting that around, folding over the ends and creating those beautiful dovetails. Segment number 2 is done. We're going to throw that to the side. And now we're on to our third segment, which is going to be 8 inches. So this one's a little bit different. I'm measuring out 8 inches, but I'm creating 3 loops and 2 tails. So I started off with our tail, create the 3 loops, and then we're going to measure out the 8 inches again and cut it this time, adding that pipe cleaner on there, and then again fold in half, cut on an angle to create those finishing touches of our dovetails. Segment 3 is done, on to segment number 4, and this one we're going to do the exact same thing as segment 3 but at 6 inches. So we're doing 2 tails, 3 loops, and then of course once that's all done, we're going to measure out that 6 inches one more time for the last tail, cut it, add that pipe cleaner, twisting it around a couple of times, making sure it's all the way we want it. We're going to fluff it up. Of course I have to fluff it up, you know that. And then we're going to dovetail it, and our 4 segments all done. Let's put it all together. Segment number 1's at the bottom. Now for this one, segment number 2, I'm going to have the tails kind of on the right hand side instead of at the bottom. I want the tails to kind of come all around. We're going to twist it at the back, cut off the excess, but don't cut off our first segment pipe cleaner stems. We're going to fluff it up just a little bit again, just to see how it's going. Add segment number 3 on there, twisting it around a couple of times right at the back. And then again, we're going to cut off that excess for segment number 3. And then of course, segment number 4, our last piece that's going on here, we're going to add that pipe cleaner on there as well. Twist it at the back. And then you know me, fluff, fluff, fluff. We have to fluff on my channel. There's no other option when we're doing bows. And of course, I'm loving this bow right now. But there's something bothering me, and it was the length of the tail. So I decided to cut a couple of the tails just a little bit longer. And then once I cut those, I was a little bit happier with it. So you can do whatever you want. You can have all your tails going one way. I wanted mine to kind of come around, but I just shortened it a bit. And we're going to fluff it. And then of course, here is our bow ready for our wreath. While I have my ribbon out, I'm going to cut ribbon at 12-inch length. So this is not for a bow, but this is for our bundles. So where we place the cruffle bundles, I'm going to place ribbon as well. I'm using 2.5-inch wired ribbon for this. There's 2 different kinds, and each of them I'm going to cut at 12 inches. So 5 pieces, cut at 12 inches for each. So I'm going to use about 10 feet or 120 inches of ribbon just to add a little bit more detail and pizzazz. And then of course what we're going to do, we're going to dovetail those ribbons, folding in half. A lot of cutting today, but I do love the dovetails. It's a great finishing touch like I said. And now it's time to add our bow. What I did was I added 1 full stem of pipe cleaners onto those stems at the back. I wanted a little more length as I was attaching it on there. So I'm going to figure out where I want my bow. I'm going to make sure I'm not wrapping any deco mesh around those pipe cleaners, making sure my bow is exactly where I want it and centered. Once that's all good, I turn it over and then I wrap that pipe cleaner around, cutting off the excess, and we have our bow all secured and all settled. Loving this so far. I hope you are too. With the ribbon, I'm just going to place both of them overlapping each other, fold it in half, find the center, gather it in the middle, create a little V shape, and then I'm going to attach 4 bundles of ribbon. So I'm using 2 ribbons for each bundle at the top. So we have the top 4 stems. I'm going to add 2 ribbons to those bundles. So right at the top we have a total of 8 pieces of ribbon, and then I'm going to do 1 bundle right at the very bottom of that single stem that we have. And of course I'm using the red and white stripe and the stars. Look at this so far. Are you not loving this? I know I am. I am going to add all of my glittery picks on there. So I did a little bit of a dry run before gluing it all down, and now you see me here. I'm happy with the result of where I've placed everything. So I'm going to just start gluing everything down, adding that hot glue onto those stems, and then just placing them right where I had them for that dry run. Once it's all done, you know I gotta start fluffing again, y'all. So fluff, 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 and then our final result is this gorgeous USA red, white, and blue Patriotic swag wreath. I am so happy with this result. I mean, honestly, look at this. It is stars and stripes, and of course a little bit of glitter. Can't complain about a little bit of glitter. Here it is on my door. I just love those pics that have kind of like the sprays coming off, looks like fireworks. And again, all that red, white, and blue for all of my American viewers out there. I sure hope you enjoyed today's swag. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a new project. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye for now.